Hello, and welcome back to Miranda's Cauldron. I'm Miranda, aka Rita. I write young adult urban paranormal because of witches, and all comes with family secrets. Do they know they're a witch? No. Do they come from a long line of witches? Maybe. Right back. Some of them actually, most of them can look at their ancestry and go all the way back to the old country in the 1700s. But I don't go back that far. I just kind of stay in modern time. For Witches of Solace is set in 1984. In Maple River is set in 1998, 97, somewhere around there. And then I have one series that hopefully will be launched this year, and it is with more elementals, not witches. Think they were born this way. They have powers over the elements. Just fantasy type things that keeps going in my head. Speaking of going through my head, dreams. Oh my God. Did I ever have some wicked dreams last night? One, I dreamt about my childhood friends. Like, I'm talking under the age of 14, when we always hung out and played all these silly little make-believe games. Well, I dreamt that I was actually seriously married to this guy. I'm like, whoa, where did that happen? Where did that come up? We barely even dated. And then when I woke up, went back to sleep, I dreamt I was at a writing retreat with people that I don't even know. Well, I guess I do kind of know them, considering that I write with them practically every day. It was fun, probably because of Sarah Cannon and the HardyCon that's happening later next month. I really wanted to go. New Orleans would be fun. My sister used to not really live there, but I guess kind of she worked on a cruise ship, so she docked there quite often. But no, I'm not going to be doing that. So maybe that could be why I dreamt of this writing retreat. It was in like a cabin in the woods, bunch of cabins, like a lodge type thing in the woods with the river and mountains. Probably because that would be my ideal place just to get away for. Oh, I'd be happy for a weekend, but a week, a month would be fabulous. Even though I kind of live in a place like that, out in the countryside, farmyards, no trees, no rivers, definitely no mountains when you live in rural Saskatchewan. But there's kind of hills if you know where to look. And if you go northern in Saskatchewan, there's some forest, but not nearly like in Ontario, like the other provinces, like Ontario, where I grew up. Literally practically lived in the woods. You go back, a field or two in any direction other than the road. There's forest. Get lost in them. Anyhow, enough of me and chattering. Let's go up to the links and the comments I put down. Hello and welcome to Miranda's Cauldron. What's on your list for these sprints? Thursdays? I'm usually all done planning my week. At least I should. Like, it's Thursday. So I think today I'm going to be going through my notes for Lear that I found when I was resetting my desk and resetting my drawers to find out, to get Lear back on my desk and work on that. And don't forget, Double Down Day is Saturday with the Heartbreaking's Writing Community. Check out their schedule for detail, the calendar for details. I do believe some of them are already made thumbnails. I did see Jenna, the Soul Writers, pop up this morning in my schedule for YouTube's. So maybe the calendar's set up. In about an hour's time, Sarah Cerroti will be hosting her live streams. Sometimes she does sprints like I do, 25, 30 minutes, but sometimes she even does 45. And guess it's getting to be a fad that you just go live, you work with people, all you do is chat in the chat box. So she might be doing that. Who knows? But personally, I like the 20, even 20 minutes, 25, 30 at the most kind of sprints, and then chat in between. Later this afternoon, we have Diane sprinting, and that is her channel. And let's see who else. Oh, and then later this evening in supper hour, after supper, we have Jody Jean Daniels. And if you are a member of the secret society of the Broken Chapter Society, don't forget to check your email and the links, because there's a special reading with Sarah this evening. Too bad I'm not going to be able to keep both of them open, because I do like to read with Jody Jean too. But Sarah doesn't do it very often, so that's where I'm going to be. And I'm going to be using the Pandora Kitty timer. And before we start that, let me grab the Moonology deck for the Manifestation Oracle cards. Here is the box for that. You can find the decks between this, and I have another one. And apparently there's a third one at too that I will have to put in my cart to get for later. Unless I get the third deck the same way I got the first two. And that's with Carly's shop. Just happened to be going to a trade show with her. And oh, I've heard of these cards. Because Tracy at the Revised Writer, who does sprints over the weekends normally, was using them and a few other ones. So I'm like, I need to get those cards. Okay, so I shuffled and I'm going to draw a card. And it is first quarter moon in Cancer. Push through any insecurities. Do I have insecurities? Of course I do. Everyone does. But you got to push through them. Like, I really do not want to go and do these live writing sprints. But since I enjoy attending them so often, I thought, hey, why not host too? And that was the creation of Miranda's Cauldron. So I no longer just write along the sprinters. I host them too. And it looks like either anybody's here is lurking or they're just not commenting. So nevertheless, let's pull up the timer. Share the screen, and as normal, I'm going to be starting with the 20-minute. So see you in 20 minutes. That way it gives you 20 minutes to just set up and figure out what you're going to do. Maybe even make that list. See you in 20. excuse me. Okay, so that was our first 20-minute sprint. Hello to CJ. More thesis working for me this morning. Hope you're well. I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself? It is like summer here. Okay, maybe not summer, spring. It has been so nice for the last couple of days that I can actually sit out on the deck in a t-shirt instead of not sitting out on the deck because there's 3 feet of snow on it. It's basically pretty much bare now from the snow that were probably, I want to say there's probably snow caked up on that deck for probably a foot or more. So it's been nice that it's slowly melting. The snow drifts and the piles are slowly coming down in height. They're no longer 7 to 8 feet high. So that is well, very well. I'm in Canada, so our temps are in Celsius, and it's like -1 Celsius, which is like, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. It's supposed to go up. It could go below 0, but -5 between today and tomorrow, which is totally fine. I will take those -5s instead of -25, -30, and then you throw in the wind, and you don't want to go outside. No, you just want to stay in the house. I'm doing great. The weather's level, and I just hit 31K, 9 to go. That's in your thesis? Wow. Wow, that's a lot of words for. Well, that's a lot of words no matter what you do. But I'm thinking, wow, that's phenomenal. Glad it's warming up for you. Oh yeah, it's been nice, especially when we have to get those little kitties outside, and if it's too cold, they just don't like it. And now there's 3 of them that as soon as you open the door to let our dog out, Brittany, she's like, the cats are like, let me out. So that's good. So what I'm doing is I'm playing around in my series notebook and all the notes. I really want to get book 1, Lear, of the Essence of Elements published this year. I've had beta readers read it through, and so I just have to do like the last run through. And I've decided that I really need to probably bring up my notebooks. I don't use a Notion or Scrivener. It's just all pen and paper. And I was going through my drawer because I have a cabinet that has 3 drawers, which is fantastic because I have 3 different series on the go. Various stages. I have one that is not even finished drafting yet. I think I'm about halfway through. But if I'm writing it like I wrote my 2 previous series, I'm actually writing 2 books in one, which is nice because each of my 2 of my main series, I know there's going to be 4 series. 4, which is a solace. 4, because 4 is such an important number and theme in that story. So I want to keep that with 4. And then the one that I'm working on right now, it has to do with the elements: earth, air, fire, water. So each book would be kind of not really based, but I want to keep it 4 for that reason as well. Pen and paper really helps to work the flow. I do that as well before I type. Exactly. Like when I remember when I started writing, which is a solace, I got the laptop, and I was typing away trying to figure out where I wanted to go. After I did an outline, very brief outline, and I just couldn't do it. And then I thought back of how did my 16-year-old self write a book? And of course, it was in pencil, in a notebook. So I thought, well, I'm just going to go back and do that. Couldn't write it in the woods like I did the first one, but it worked. So right now, the notes I'm working through is that was a quick 5 minutes. I'm just going to finish this up and then we'll go. And for Essence of Elements, they're at a camp. Think Harry Potter for elementals. So you got to get your school in there too, education. So right now I'm making up the class schedule for my 4 classes, you can say. And do they really want to do history every day? No. So I have to change up some. So it's water studies science in one day, and then reading, creative writing in the other. And a lot of them, they don't even have water science. And water science can be anywhere from actually playing in the river and looking for all these water things and other sciencey with water, but I'm not really going into those classes. I just need to know where they are. So that's what I'm working on. Yeah. So I'm going to change the timer to 30 minutes. And then the remaining sprints will be 30 minutes. So we'll see you in 30 minutes. Oh, and before I unmute again, if you don't like the music I'm playing, just make a note in the comments and I won't play it anymore. See you in 30. Welcome back. Welcome back. How did everybody do? We had a few new friends pop in. Let's go back into the... And I added Jenna's link because Jenna's hosting a special editing sprint later this evening / afternoon. I think it's like 5 or 6 Eastern time. CJ grabbed a tea and a pastry and chat about the kind. Black tea with milk, bread, and a small piece of sweet red bean bun. Interesting. Raven, hello. And I had strawberry rhubarb tart. I'd much rather have red bean bun. None of the shops in my area sells them. Well, I have never heard of a red bean bun, but I do have had strawberry rhubarb pie before. Yeah, so I am going through my notes again, still kind of doing that. I got new colored index cards. So since I surprisingly have not done any notes in my index cards for Lear and Nexus, so I'm like, okay, I'll use those new pretty colors. My two main characters are Boston and Salem, and I do tend to use the two main characters pink and light blue. So I'm going to use these cards with my pink pen for my chapter summaries for Salem's chapters, and then my blue index cards and light blue pen for Boston. And then I have a light pretty yellow for just other kind of notes. Like I'll probably use the yellow for the class schedule and what classes the kids have for specific days. So I have Monday and Wednesday, they'd have one bunch of classes. For example, my main characters are 16 and 17. So Monday and Wednesday class, they'll have creative writing and reading, and then air science, earth science, and for earth science, they could be even making stuff with like pottery, drying herbs, because it's also like a magical elemental type school. But they have to mix their mundane kind of classes, but they also have to have fun because it's a summer camp basically. And then their fourth class of the day is history or social studies. And then on Tuesday and Thursdays, they basically have similar classes. So history, water science, air science. Wait, I'm going to have to change that because they had air science on Monday. They can't have it all day, so I'm going to change that again. So I'm going to do that. And then they're Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because they don't go home on the weekends. They're there every day of the week. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I kind of have it more of a camp atmosphere. So they get to sleep in. And they have things like swimming and canoeing and games and crafts. But we can't forget, these kids are also elementals and they need to be able to control their powers. Like Salem, she gets upset. She was being bullied in her previous school. And all of a sudden, just the flames erupt. So they have to have control of that. So those are 3 days. So it's like school and camping all rolled into one. Chatting about, rhubarb pie. So, sorry, I'm going to sneeze. So if you're into stream hopping, Sarah is sprinting at the moment, and she's doing the 30-minute sprints and then it breaks. So I am just going to continue with the timer and see you in 30 minutes. And that's the end of our third sprint together. How did everybody do? Let's see. There was more chatter about the pies and yummies. Mama Maggie popped in. She's been lurking. Hello, hello. Mama Maggie normally sometimes sprints Tuesday mornings. So if you want to sprint with Mama Maggie, she no longer goes at early in the morning, which is so nice. For me anyhow, because I don't like to get up and do things before 9. But I wake up because I have 4 kids that show up for before and after school. Okay. Luckily, the bus just picks them up at our house, and it's the same bus route, so it's win-win. They arrive usually at 6:30. Luckily, hubby's home and awake. He's a morning person. I'm not. So he tends to, if there's any issues with them, like squabbling, fighting, you know how siblings can be. He can deal with them until about 7:45, and then I'm up and I can get them on the bus and all that fun stuff. So I normally don't get to sprinting till like 8 at the earliest, usually 9 my time. So I'm glad it's no longer at, 5 a.m. Eastern or something like that. Mama Maggie's, her migraines have canceled on my sprints. Oh, that's too bad. Trying to do Tuesdays. Okay, so Tuesdays at 10:30 Mountain Time. So that would be 9:30 for me, which is perfect time. And I believe it's like 8:30 Eastern Time. Much better time, for me at least. CJ got through part of my introduction I've been struggling with. Still needs some tweaking, but good enough for now. That is awesome. Lots of typos. That happens when we're typing up in chat. So I am slowly going through my classes for my characters. I have all the classes figured out for Monday and Wednesday on my index cards. Please say I'm not the only one that does special index cards and colors. I'm sure. Color coding is fun. So slowly going through that. And maybe this afternoon I'll print out a chapter and go through line edits before I find a software, whatever, for formatting so I can get my proof copy for Lear. This has been on my list to do for well over a year. Sure, the first time I wanted a proof copy, it really wasn't ready for proof copy, and I'm really glad I didn't, because since then my novel has changed so much. But it also helps that I have beta readers. So that's why I spent most of last year was going through their comments, changing, going through writing it, all the fun stuff. Hold on a sec. Sorry about that. Okay, and here we've got the times and all the time zones for Mama Maggie. 9:30 Pacific, 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern. That is great. Okay, so we have about another 40 seconds. This will be our last sprint. I'm going to keep it for the 30 minutes because I don't mind going over. But one thing for sure I'm doing for the beginning of the next sprint is I need some water. The last time I had anything to drink was coffee, and that was a couple sprints ago. So I am going to be doing that first. Debating whether or not to have a quick snack. Might have some cheese because I'll be having lunch next. And feeding my outside kitties. Yes, it's great when someone else reads your novel into chapters so you have an idea of what other people are thinking about it, and then you can change it or leave it. So we've got, this is the last sprint, Steve in 30. And that is our last sprint together. Jody Jean popped off for lunch. And I have a little extra little thing I want to share that I created. And I keep forgetting to share. So here we go. There we go. And I really need to go back into Canva and fix that. Move my cauldron to the other side because it gets covered up by the comments. And I'm not sure how to remove it. And thank you so much for sharing your creative time with us. And thank you so much for popping in on when I do my streams, Monday and Thursdays. The time change is going to be in a few weeks. So I'm going to have to figure out what time I'm going to do my streams. Because once the time changes, I'm going to be 2 hours ahead of Eastern time. So I may have to change that. So it'll probably be noon on Mondays and Thursdays. So I'll have to check, because if I do noon Eastern, it'll be still 10 a.m. for me. So I will probably do that. I think that's what I did other years. And then with the time change, because Saskatchewan doesn't change our time, so we're going to go back to Mountain Time. So we'll be the same as Alberta. And I'm not sure about the states, but I do know for sure we'll be back in the same time zone as Montana. Because, well, we go to Montana regularly. Actually, my husband and a couple other people went down to Montana to get their hair cut. Yes, it's closer to get our hair cut crossing the border than it is to drive an hour to the closest small town. And glad to hear you got some things were figured out. I got quite a lot of index cards redone. Well, I guess done, because I haven't put this kind of information in index cards. It's just in my notebook. And this kind of info is kind of nice to have on my cue cards. Yes, I agree. Like, it's so nice not to change your time. But who knows? And you have a blessed day, evening as well. And it annoys me that we aren't in the same time zone all the time. Exactly. Like in the winter time, do we really need to be in the dark like at 4:30 for out here? And I remember when we first moved to Alberta, we were hanging out with the family across the road in the summertime till like practically midnight, and we didn't even realize how late it was getting. And have a good day. And just as a reminder, if you're still into getting stuff done, Sarah is still going to be sprinting for probably another hour, maybe a little bit later. And Diane is hosting in 45 minutes. And if you do follow Sarah Cannon, which I'm sure everyone here does, I noticed a message post that she's going to be doing something special with the disappearance of Vanessa Shaw in a few hours, as well as the Broken Chapter Society reading sprints are tonight. So check out your emails or just check out the tabs. I will see you all on Thursday. Have a great afternoon. Mm-hmm.